Let's see bars with a difference. If we consider this table 5.4 where class intervals are given 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, which is a quantitative measure, and here frequency is given to you 2, 10, 21, 19, 7, 1. That is, this shows the marks obtained by students in mathematics, right? And 2, 10, 21 are the number of students, right? So, how it is graphically displayed? You see the graph displayed here, figure 5.1. We have taken marks of students, that is the class interval we have taken on x-axis, and on the y-axis we have taken frequency, that is number of students obtaining the particular or coming in the range of the particular class interval taken. Okay, so both are quantitative measures, x-axis and on y-axis. This is little different from the graph which you have studied in class 7, where on x-axis you used to take the qualitative measures, that is name of students, name of months, name of subjects, and y-axis used to represent the quantitative, that the figure, number of students, rainfall in inches and centimeter or heights in centimeter, etc., etc. Now let's see, when the class interval we have taken on x-axis, if the class interval has reading, small readings from 0 to 10 till 50 to 60, then we can directly put up the graph like this. Okay, 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, continuous, no gap between the two bars has to be taken. So 0 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 continuously will write, and then on y-axis number of students, frequency, minimum frequency 2 and maximum is 60. Sorry, not maximum 60, you can see maximum is 21. You can see the frequency over here, minimum 1 and maximum 21. Accordingly, we have to take the scale on y-axis. So 2 will do 1 unit is equal to 2 students. So you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 like that till 22 has been taken and labeled as number of students, and here it is labeled as marks of student. And see how it has to be taken. 2, number of students 2, they fall in which range? 0 to 10. So you can see here it is taken like this, 0 to 10, 2. Then 10 to 20, frequency is 10. So from 10 to 20, the bar is going to take the height 10. They are just connected to each other. The next line of this bar, second bar, will be continued for 20 to 30, and it is 21. So where does it reach? Here, 21. फिर 30 से 40, between 30 to 40, it's 19. Like that, the bars you will draw and it will be connected with each other as the class interval which is taken is continuous. Okay, and this is the bar graph, which is little different from the graphs which you have studied previously. The bar graph which you have studied previously, where you were taking qualitative measures reading on x-axis. So the bar graph was little or is little different from this one. Okay. So here you can say the height of the bar represents frequency of the class interval. Okay, and one more thing is that there won't be any gap between the two class interval, they are continuous, and this type of graphical representation is called histogram. What is it called? It's called histogram. One more example of histogram I can show you, and it's on page number 75 of your textbook. You can see here this histogram represents ages of teacher of a school, right? And look here, this is ages given to you, and 20 to 25. Here the first slot from 0 to 20 is not taken or mentioned, so zag line or zigzag or crated line is there to tell you, a broken line which tells you that along the horizontal line we are not showing numbers between 0 to 20. We are not showing the number of teachers between 0 to 20. And then we can take the interval of 5. You can see 20 to 25, 25 to 30. Though 0 to 20 we have just put a zagged line, broken line to tell you that 0 to 20 we are not showing. Directly we are starting from 20 to 25. Then it is okay. If you forget to put this zagged line, then it will be considered as a mistake, because the first interval is of 0 to 20. It's of 20, and how come you take 5 interval in the next consecutive class? So compulsorily you have to take the broken line or the zag line if you are not showing anything, any information between, if you are skipping 0 to 20. Understood? And then you can keep interval of continuous interval of 5. Is that clear? So bars of equal width, no gap in between, that you have to keep in mind. Height of the bar gives the number of data items in a particular group, that is called frequency, is to be taken. Understood? So here the number of teachers taken, and here the ages of teacher is taken. And what does this graphical representation called? It is called histogram. This type of graphical representation of data is considered as histogram. Okay? Hi children, now it's time to see circle graph or pie chart. Do you know what does pie mean? Pie is a food item, and it's really very tasty to eat. Just because the shape is like pie or circular, it's considered as pie chart or circle graph. In this case, what you are going to do, two things you will learn. One, from the given pie chart, you have to answer the questions or calculate the percentages or the degree. These are called circle graph or pie graph. A circle graph shows the relationship between whole and its parts. Okay? And the degree, if you consider it, is 360 degree. Here the whole circle is divided into sectors. These are called sectors. Understood? And the size of each sector is proportional to the activity or information it represents. What percentage or what fraction does the sector covers of the whole? It depends on that. For example, in the above graph, the proportion of the sector for hour spent in sleeping. How many hours a person has spent in sleeping? Then in that case, how do you calculate the proportion? In that case, what will you do is number of sleeping hours divided by whole day. In a day, total hours 24 hours whole day, and number of sleeping hours 8 hours. So 8 upon 24. In this case, you have taken 8 upon 24. That is, for sleeping hours it is 8 and whole day total hours 24. So 8 upon 24 we have taken. On simplifying, we get 1 upon 3. This is the proportion for sleeping hours. But instead of these hours given to you, some other detail is given, then how will you calculate? Look here, you see 15 to age groups of people in a town is given to you, and that is represented in the pie chart form. You see 0 to 14 years, 30,000 people in that town. Then 15 to 60 years, 50,000, and 60 above 60, 60 and above 60, the number is 20,000. Then what will you do? Here you had added up the hours given, 8 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 6, okay, 24 hours. Here what will you do? Total population you will count. 30 plus 50, 80, 80 plus 20, it's 100. Whole circle is based on, if you consider degree wise, it is 360. 360 means 100%. Is that clear? And if you have to calculate out the proportion for the age group between 0 to 14, then what will you do? 30 divided by 100. How will you calculate? You will calculate it as 30 divided by 100 and you will get 3 by 10. You can better understand with the first pie chart, because the example is given to you. For sleeping hours you got 8 upon 24, 1 by 3. Now that is 1 by 3 part of the whole circle is covered by the sleeping hours. Then homework. What proportion? The time, proportion of the time child spends on doing homework, 4 hours. Then what will you do? 4 divided by 24. 4 divided by 24. 4 ones are and 6 are, that is 1 upon 6 part. 1 upon 6th part of the whole is covered by, or is the proportion for the child doing homework. Then in the textbook itself you have proportion for hours spent in school. What is the proportion? Number of school hours divided by whole day, and here you can see 6 hours the child spent, so taken 6 upon 24, and on simplifying you get 1 by 4. So 1 upon 4th part of the circle is covered by time spent or hours spent by the child in school. Likewise, you have to calculate, and when you finish up calculating for all the activities done by the child in a day, then you will find it will come up to 24 by 24, that's equal to 1. Understood? So that is equal to the whole pie chart, whole graph. Is that clear? Now drawing the pie charts. Here you have an example. The favorite flavors of ice creams for students of a school is given in percentages as follows. Flavors: chocolate, vanilla and other flavors. Percentage of students preferring the flavors: 50%, 25% and 25%. When you add up, you see 50 plus 25, 75, 75 plus 25 gives you 100%. As I had explained you earlier, when you take the circle of the pie chart, degree wise it is 360 degree, and if you see the percentage wise or if you see the fraction wise, a whole it will be 1, and percentage if you take it's going to be 100. Whatever the figure or the entry is taken, you add up, that will be equal to 100. Okay, so let's move on with the calculation. The total angle at the center of a circle is 360 that you have to take. The central angle of the sector will be of 360, and as you have to draw the pie chart, you have to convert the fraction into degree, 360. Okay, so your table will be consisting of 4 columns, and the first column will contain the qualitative measures of the entry, flavors, chocolate, vanilla, other flavors. Then the second one, from the given data itself, students in person preferring the flavors, percentage given, so you know total percentage will be 100. Otherwise the data, whatever entry which is given to you, you find out the total of it by adding up the figures given to you. 50, 25, 25 gives 100, and percentage given, so obviously total will be 100 itself. Now converting in fraction, you have to convert this given figure in fraction. So what will you do? Given number divided by total. 50 upon 100 reduced from 1 upon 2, and this fraction has to be converted into degree because we have to plot it in the pie chart. So you require the angle. So converting 1 upon 2 into degree form 360, what will you do? 1 upon 2 multiplied by 360. 360 divided by 2, you get 180. Similarly, for vanilla, converted 25 upon 100 into 1 by 4. 1 by 4 multiplied by 360, that means you have to divide 360 by 4, and that is the numerator has to be multiplied with 360 and divided by 4. You got 90. Same way for other flavors, 25 upon 100 equal to 1 upon 4. 1 upon 4 multiplied by 360. So 1 into 360 divided by 4 gives you 90 degree. Now you have to use these angles for drawing a pie chart. And to draw a pie chart, you require a compass, a scale, and a protractor. Or if you have a round protractor, then you will not require a compass also. With that itself you can draw this circle. How to draw? I will practically show you while we will be solving the exercise. I will practically show you drawing of pie chart using the different geometrical instruments. Hope you have understood this. And now the second part, which I told you, a pie chart will be given to you with all the data, information, and questions will be given to you. Based on this pie chart, you will have to answer the questions given to you. Okay, example, you can see adjoining pie chart, the pie chart which is shown over here, figure 5.7. It gives expenditure in percentage on various items and savings of a family during a month. Okay, you have to look carefully. You have to look at the pie chart, what all informations are given. House rent 10%, education of children 15%, food 25%, clothes 10%, other expenditure 20%, transport 5%, and then comes savings 15%. This is the close look of the pie chart with different detail of a family given, expenditure and savings. Now questions look at on which item the expenditure was maximum. From the percentage you can see which is the highest percentage, 25 on food, the expenditure is maximum. Expenditure on which item is equal to the total savings of the family. Total savings 15%, and where else you can find 15%, here it is 15%, education for children is 15%. So expenditure on children education is same as the total savings of the family. If the monthly savings of family is 3,000, what is the monthly expenditure on clothes? monthly savings 15% means 3,000, and then expenditure of clothes 10% will be how much? That should be the calculation. So as I told you, 15% represents 3,000 and 10% represents the expenditure on clothing. So how will you calculate 15% or rupees? परसेंटेज के अंडर 15% के सामने 3,000 दैट इज सेविंग्स और एक्सपेंडिचर 10% में कितना अमाउंट आएगा उसको कैलकुलेट करना है. तो 10 इंटू 3,000 क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन 10 इंटू 3,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 15 will give you rupees 2,000. So rupees 2,000 is the expenditure on clothing. This is how you have to calculate. Look at example 2. On a particular day, the sales of different items of a bake shop are given below. Ordinary bread 320, fruit bread 80, cakes and pastries 160, biscuits 120, others 40. So as I told you, you have to add up. Total comes to 720. Draw a pie chart of this data. Okay? So add. If the total is not given, you have to find out the total of it. Because to find out fractions for each item, you need the total. 320 upon 720, 80 upon 720, 160 upon 720, 120 upon 720 and 40 upon 720. So the columns, as I told you in the previous example, items, sales, fractions, as I had explained you, 320 upon 720, 120 upon 720, convert it into fractions and then convert the same into central angle. Okay, fraction of 360 or central angle you write. It would be better if you write central angle, and to calculate central angle, what will you do is you will multiply the obtained fraction with 360. न्यूमरेटर को 360 से मल्टीप्लाई करो और 9 से डिवाइड करो. तो इस तरह से आपको सारे सेंट्रल एंगल्स कैलकुलेट कर लेने हैं और उसके बाद आपको पाई चार्ट ड्रॉ करना है. सो व्हाइल आई विल बी डूइंग द फर्स्ट सम ऑफ exercise 5.2, that time you will get a clear picture of drawing. Practically you will understand how to draw the pie chart. Okay.